The judge overseeing Donald Trump's classified documents case is hearing arguments related to the Justice Department's appointment and funding of special counsel Jack Smith, whose team brought the charges against the former president. Judge Cannon will also hear arguments on whether to bar Trump from making public comments about the FBI agents working the case. CBS News campaign reporter Katrina Kaufman is outside the courthouse in Fort Pierce, Florida, with the latest. Katrina, always appreciate you running out for us. So what's happening in court today?
Good to be with you. So, as you were saying, their arguing this morning was about the unlawful funding of Jack Smith, is what Trump is saying. Essentially, this is a continuation of a hearing that we had on Friday. Trump is saying that Jack Smith, as special counsel, was both unlawfully appointed and unlawfully funded, and on both of these bases, they want the entire indictment to be dismissed in this case. So Judge Cannon has been very sharply questioning both sides here. Trump's attorney, Emile Beauvais, is saying that actually there's a contradiction in what the prosecution is saying between Friday and today. Essentially, Friday they were trying to argue that Jack Smith is not independent, and so he qualifies as an inferior officer, which makes his appointment lawful. And today they're saying that he is independent enough that he should receive the certain appropriation of funding that is intended for independent counsels. But Judge Cannon actually said to Emile Beauvais that he too was doing this same flip-flop, because essentially both sides have a bit of an inherent contradiction in their argument. She was also asking a lot of questions about the funding of Jack Smith, and the DOJ says that if it's found that he shouldn't be funded from this appropriation, there is room in their budget to pay him in that way, and that this is really not a basis for dismissing the indictment because it doesn't create any prejudice to Trump as a defendant. It's really just a matter of where the funding is coming from.
And Katrina, the judge will also hear arguments today on whether to issue a limited gag order for Trump. We've seen gag orders in other cases. What are the prosecution and defense arguing here?
The prosecution is saying that there need to be some limitations on Trump's speech related to the law enforcement professionals that carried out the raid at Mar-a-Lago. Essentially, there is a form that's used when the FBI does a raid, and there's some language in it that talks about the use of deadly force. But in the form, it says that it should be used only when necessary. Trump has taken this language and has been saying that the FBI was essentially authorized to assassinate him when they came into Mar-a-Lago. The prosecution says that the search was actually very carefully coordinated with Trump. They made sure that he and his family were not even going to be there when they arrived, but that these things that he's saying really put these law enforcement professionals in danger. These are people who conducted the search and who may be witnesses in this trial. So they say that for the integrity of the trial, for the fair administration of justice, there should be some limitations put on Trump's speech, and we'll be discussing that this afternoon.
Okay, Katrina Kaufman, we know you'll keep us posted. Thank you.